I don't know what I'm doing again, as always. Okay, let's get started. Still have a lot of greens and purples, but I'm gonna have to transition out of this color scheme soon. Andy, I was already thinking of you this morning. Wow, Blackwall, that's a lot. I'm proud of you. I'm happy for you. You sound satiated. Andy, I was thinking of you because I did the I Ching the other day and I got an answer that didn't exactly make sense in the moment. I don't remember. I think it was number 8, but it was all about teamwork. And I was like, I work by myself, like for the most part. And that day that I had done it, I was planning on just working on my YouTube videos. So like I wasn't planning on working with anybody on that either. So like teamwork didn't make a whole lot of sense. But it's what I got. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know, who knows? And then like I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 hours later, I got a phone call that kind of client related that someone needed a website done like immediately. I mentioned that I was working on this yesterday or last week, but I forgot to add the I Ching part. But basically, I didn't know this project was going to pop up. I threw the I Ching. I got the teamwork stuff, didn't make sense, and then a few hours later, got a phone call for a project that required copious amounts of teamwork all day. And I laughed really hard at the end of the day when I realized that it was still correct, even when I didn't think it made sense. And I was just thinking about that this morning, that I meant to tell you that, and that maybe we can throw the I Ching today. I don't have a question right now, but I'm down to take a break and do that too. I mean, Blackwell, that seems like a nice morning, honestly. Also, happy Monday. This past week has completely blurred into one big blob of time, and I feel like I have no idea what day it is, let alone what's going on. Oh, hi, bud. You got snow all over you. Sorry, Monty just got in. You've often been surprised? Yeah, I just remember being like, huh, must not work this time. Like, can't be right all the time. And then it came around and was right. And I was like, are you kidding? I actually remember that the question I asked that morning was really open ended too. I think it was something like, what do I need to know today? Or like, is there like something along something very vague, like, what do I need to know today? And it was like, teamwork, babe. And I was like, whatever. So right. So now I kind of want to do it again. But I gotta think of a question. Unless anybody else has a question, I'll throw for the group if we want. You think so, Blackwell? Thank you. I really hope so. I really hope so. It's getting there. I'm worried I'm gonna run out of clay before I see the vision through, but we'll deal with that when we get there. Yeah, do one today? I'll do one today. Should I, Andy, is it weird to do like a question for someone else, or do you always throw for yourself? Are there any rules around that that you know of? You don't have to ask a question, really. You can just throw it and see what it has to say. Interesting. Hey, Pierce. How are you? Are you getting settled? I hope everything's going well in the new place. What am I referring to, Blackwall? In what? In the questions? I'm referring to the I Ching, if that's what you're asking about. If I said something else, I've already forgotten it. You'll have to remind me. But I'm talking about the I Ching, which I am learning about. I don't know much yet, but I'm learning. Which is an ancient. Oh, you can ask about other people though. Okay, cool. It's ancient Chinese. What is it considered? It's not a spiritual practice. It's not a game. A prophecy? Andy, what do you call it? Like, what would you refer to the I Ching when describing it? But basically, you toss 3 coins 6 times, and you record what you get on the 6 throws, and those numbers create a hexagram that leads to a number that will essentially refer to your question if you ask a question. Or, gosh, that was a really, really awful description. That was an awful explanation. Oracle. Okay, great. Oracle's a good word for it. It's a ancient Chinese oracle practice involving 3 coins. Hey, Rob. Good morning. How are you doing? I heard you guys got some weather. You're Chicago, right? So yeah, is that what you were asking, Blackwall, about what I was referring to? Yeah. I mean, I guess everyone really got some weather, but like, damn. Well, I hope you're staying dry, warm. I was just telling Andy, I think what's it called when you do the I Ching? Is it throwing the I Ching? What's the adjective there? Not adjective, but what's the descriptor there? Oh, you got an advertisement? I'm sorry. Well, that's okay. Maybe I'll get better. You got centralized heating. How is the weather in Philly? Oh, I am not in Philly, but good guess. However, where I am, weather's probably not too far off from where you're at. It's cold. It's snowing. Consulting. Thank you, Andy. Gosh, what would I do without you? Consulting the I Ching. Okay, thank you. So we are going to consult the I Ching at some point today in the live. I don't know if I'm going to ask a question or what I'm going to ask, or if I'm going to throw for someone else. If anyone has a good question that they want me to do it for, I think the only thing that they say in terms of the question is to try and avoid yes or no questions, or like single digit, like things that are like a single answer, but something more open-ended. Let's see here. How was everyone's weekend? I desperately tried to get my long form video out. It is so close. I'm in like the last 5 minutes of editing probably. But then I have to do the description, the thumbnail. I may have some custom music coming. I had to put a little music at the beginning of the clip because I was too close to my microphone. It sounds like crap. And I have some free music in the video that works, but my partner wanted to try and make some music. So he did that this weekend. I gotta try and put it in and see if it works with the video. I Ching, yeah, but it's I Ching is how you pronounce it. It is spelled with an I. I'm pretty sure it's pronounced E though. Correct, Sandy? Also, you and I have different accents, so maybe it's different for you. But I am pretty sure it's pronounced I Ching, even though it's spelled I Ching. But if I sound like a dipstick, calling it I Ching, please let me know. This is very new to me. I had heard of it, but I didn't understand it or know how to use it until Andy showed me recently. And I've been having a great time with it. What do I want? I think it's E, not I. This isn't as bright as I want in here. Okay, so you think I'm right, but you say it I Ching? Okay. I'm going to have to consult the internet and see which one's going to give me less grief for pronunciation. I don't know if you can hear that siren, but it'll be gone in a second. I live really close to a hospital, which actually is wonderful. I'm very grateful for that. I've never needed it, thankfully, and hopefully I never will. But when the weather isn't great, my area of the neighborhood is the area most likely to keep power if we lose power, because we are on the hospital grid, which is very convenient. You were in Switzerland for a wedding? Oh, that sounds amazing. How was it? I love a good wedding. Love a good wedding. Give me a reason to dress up and feed me. Say less. I also would love to go to Switzerland, of course. Who wouldn't? That sounds incredible. I hate a bad wedding, and I guess bad isn't even the right word. I hate a boring wedding, but I love a good wedding. Oh, I did. Yeah, you too. Just so you guys know, I already know what our next craft is going to be after I get through this. I have so many baby blankets to make, and I think I told you guys that. So I'm going to have to spend some of my time on live, like chit-chatting with you guys as I'm making these, because it's the only way I'm going to get them done. I don't know how it's almost February. But I'm excited. I'm really excited for spring. I feel like this year's going to be better than last year. And I don't know why. Like, looking at the outside world, there's like no reason to feel like it will be. But there's just something internally that I feel like is going to be better. Maybe it's just it's going to be a personal thing, but it just seems like it might be a little better this time. So, I'm excited for spring. I'm excited that it's almost February. But I have to get a move on if I'm going to get these blankets done anytime this century. But the yarn's not here yet. I just finished ordering everything this weekend, so it'll be here probably this week sometime. That's great. Oh, that's so good. I have a mind to like lighten some of this green even more and get like a really, really pale green going. But I don't know that that's going to be as easy as I thought. I also have this kind of neon-y yellow, which I can leave as the tone that it is, but I can also mix it with a green to like make another kind of shade. I'm not even up to date on my own viewing, so I can't see what you guys can see. I kind of like the neon pop. Hey, HB. Good morning, friend. Happy Monday. I hope you are well. We are going to do the I Ching again today, or the I Ching, because I don't know which way is it the acceptable way to pronounce it. You like the neon pop? Okay, cool. I have this this pale pink that could be fun, but is that all of it? That's actually all of it. Never mind. That's not an option. I have this bright pink. Ooh, that's loud. Ah, that looks like, I don't like it. I don't like it. This neon yellow it is. That's gonna be where we're going. Oh man, what am I doing? I'm like getting excited to get done and I'm not paying attention to the actual balls that I'm forming, and they have like all these cracks and seams that I haven't fixed. HB, how was your birthday weekend? I know your birthday was what, Wednesday or Thursday? But how was the weekend of your birthday? Did you do anything else? Okay, that's better, though not perfect. Yeah. Pierce, are you at work right now? Are you having to tag team? Also, it's okay if you can't respond. I know that your internet's finicky sometimes. There are two types of lighter green going on in here, and you can't even see that. Like you can't, they don't look like two different greens. They're barely different. Maybe I'll see if I can lighten one up a bit more. You want to stay in a hotel, but your aunt wouldn't have it. Instead, all of your nieces and nephews were all squished into their house. Oh, so you have family that live there. Well, I guess that makes sense. Didn't have the heart to tell her we would be comfortable elsewhere, so yeah, I hear ya. Especially hard when you like when you're traveling so far out of the country. I feel like it's easy when you have loved ones or friends come in from another country to want them to be like in your space, to want to really be hospitable and host them, and it's really sweet. Though it's sweet on both of your parts. It's sweet that your aunt wanted you, and it's sweet that you obliged, even though you would have been more comfortable in a hotel. Oh, did he, HB? That's cool. I hope he thinks I did him justice. Oh wait, okay, I just did like a light greeny marble one and I love it right now. But remember, I already don't know if I like this marble piece, so we'll see if it stays. Can you even see the marbling? Yeah, kind of. A little bit. Whatever. I like it though. And I've used this like kind of creamy off-white, which is fantastic because I don't know what else I'll use that for. Oh, really? That's cool, Rob. You know, one thing about me, I don't think I can settle on a favorite color. I love color, which is funny because I also love black, which is not a color, and white. I love black and white a whole lot. I love white. Also, I love black. What am I talking about? I literally love color. I love all colors. I love greens, I love blues, I love pink and orange for years and decades. Even now, if I had to pick one color, it would probably be kind of like a salmony pink, like a orangey pink, peachy pink type color. This like pink-orange blend. I love it so much. But like even looking at these, I'm like, oh, I love this green, but wait, I love the blue. Just love her, clearly. Oh, he was emotional. HB, that's so kind. That's so kind. Oh, I'm so glad he called. Oh, hey, Al. Good morning. How are you? Happy Monday. I'm realizing that because I don't work a typical job or a typical schedule, I don't get the Monday blues the way that I used to, at least not at this present phase of life. And I imagine it's probably nice to have a place like this on a Monday morning with someone who's not dreading the fact that it's Monday morning. When you try to think of red is a go-to color for me. But then there's blue and greens too. And then there's black. Yep, exactly. That's exactly how I feel. That's the other thing too. I love red. I'm a red lipstick girl. You guys have probably seen that before. And I, um, when my friends, like my little group of friends, my coven, if you will, there are 5 of us. I need to count for a second. And whenever we do something that like all of us are doing, we usually like give each of us different colors so we know whose is whose. Like one year, one of the girls got us all matching sweatshirts, but each sweatshirt was a different color. Another year, Jason in our group got all of us bracelets, but the jewelry, like the stones, were all different colors for each of us. And the color that the coven always gives me is red. That was where I was going with that. And I think it's because of the red lipstick. But like really, I love color. I don't love all the colors on top of each other. I'm not a fan of rainbow motifs in that, I mean, pride all day, not that. Jesus, no, not that. But like in art or in visuals, like I wouldn't, for instance, want to bring in like red and orange and yellow and like start turning this into a rainbow palette, if that makes sense. I'm not a big fan of that. I like things to be a little bit more tonal or intentional, but in general, just a big fan of color. Just a reminder for everyone sitting here, I'm going to do the I Ching, I Ching, so if anyone has a question brewing, we can also, Andy just told me we can throw without a question, but if anyone has a question, I'm totally willing to throw for that also or instead, so be thinking. I'm not sure when I'm going to do it yet, but at some point, probably coffee break. Which honestly may be sooner rather than later because I'm inhaling it this morning. What am I doing? I'm going to make these smaller. Yeah. Monday is a very difficult day for all of us. Exactly. Like Monday's a tough day, and so I think maybe it's part of my enjoyment about doing this on Mondays. It makes it easier for me to walk into my work week with you guys first. I don't know if it's one of these things that just like allows me to have a forced creative moment or a forced start to the week doing something I actually want to do for work, which is this, as opposed to going straight into my job. There's got to be something psychologically beneficial to that, right? I'm very excited to consult the I Ching. Hey, Blaster, how are you? Good morning, happy Monday. I'm rather chirpy this morning. I did wake up on my own. Like, I don't ever use an alarm clock. Monty is our alarm clock. He wakes us up every morning. But he's been sleeping in the last couple of days, so I think subconsciously I was just a little aware that he might sleep in, and I actually woke up on my own at like 6, just bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I think I'm really hopeful to get my video done today. I have a client meeting at noon. I have a client meeting on Tuesday at 3, and I have an all-day on-site client meeting on Wednesday, so I really want to get the video done today because this week's just getting busier. Keep chewing on it, Rob. You got time. I know, Machi's so funny. You woke up at 3, but you're on the West Coast. I had a couple mornings where I was waking up at really weirdly not serendipitous times. Synchronistic, maybe is the word I want. Waking up at I woke up at 3:33 or 1:11 or something one day, and then 5:55 like after that, and then 5:55 again like 2 days later. But it's since stopped. Okay, I think mixing in this light, this light color has been a good call. sun's out today, which is nice. I hope the sun is out where you guys are. I know it doesn't apply to everybody, but I think cloudy days are the hardest for me. It's not cold. It's not snow. It's not rain. It's not overly hot days. It's just the days that the sun doesn't come out. Really, Rob? That is interesting. I'm very fascinated by the Schumann resonance. I'm not sure if you guys are, how familiar you guys are, but it's supposed to be essentially like the heartbeat of the earth is what they call it. And it gets erratic sometimes. There's like all these websites and like I think there's a Twitter handle and stuff that keeps it updated every day and keeps track of the Schumann resonance, and you can check it. And if I remember correctly, it's not widely accepted as like measurable, verifiable, etc. But a lot of people believe that our sleep is greatly affected by the Schumann resonance. So sometimes when I'm sleeping really weirdly, or if I'm waking up a lot, or like the other night, both my partner and I had just terrible night's sleep for some reason, I will tend to check the Schumann resonance the next day to see. And like oftentimes at night when that's happening, there'll be like a spike in the resonance or something. It's very interesting. I don't know if any of you guys have ever messed around with that. Silent Lurker. Hi, everyone. No problem, girl. Yeah, cloudy days are the worst. Your sleep schedule is very erratic. Oh, I'm sorry, Al. Yeah, look up the Schumann resonance. It's very curious. Al, I worked very erratic hours for a while when I lived in New York. And I was constantly like, I was a stylist at the time on Fifth Avenue, which meant that I had to work regularly when the stores were closed because I did the window displays, and we'd have to do them, you know, when there weren't tourists everywhere. And that would mean that like there would be weeks where I would be working at nights and sleeping at the day, and then it would stop, like we'd get the whole set done, and then there'd be a couple weeks where I'm working day shift, just like back of house stuff, like prepping for the next window change. And going back and forth between days and nights would really mess with me, and I started sleepwalking. And I think I might have told this story on live before when Hannah was here, but my friend Hannah, the amazing artist, H. Embry Art, sometimes comes into the chat, and she was my roommate at the time, and one day in the middle of the day, I was supposed to be sleeping, and thankfully she was home, and she heard me get up, and essentially I sleptwalked into the bathroom, and I got in the bath, and I turned the bath on, and I was asleep, and thankfully Hannah realized it and came in and woke me up, and I didn't drown myself or do something stupid, but having an erratic sleep schedule can really mess with you. You hardly sleep more than 6 hours. Ugh. In a dream world, if I could have any amount of sleep that I wanted, 9.5 hours. Love 9.5 hours. I'm usually anywhere between like 7 and 8.5, but I would love 9. I love sleep. I actually get so excited for bed every night. I sometimes wonder, because sometimes I swear, I'm like, I feel Montgomery. That horrible noise is him on a bone. Bro. Oh my God, that's terrible. I sometimes wonder if I get so excited for sleep for a reason. Like, what am I doing in my sleep that I can't help but like consciously get so excited to go to sleep? I feel like I just must be having fun. Oh my God, this dog. I can't do this sound. Okay, this is making the green last a lot longer. I'm very happy with this decision. I'm gonna have to reposition this dog. Is that sound not atrocious to you guys? Is it just me? just had deja vu. That's interesting. I just had deja vu about sitting here on live with you guys, with him making that noise. And I know that's never happened before. Because this is only like my third time sitting here for my live stream. And he didn't have a bone before. Montgomery, that sound. Okay, it's not too bad. All right. He sounds ridiculous to me. When I get more coffee, I'll move him into the lounge. Monty, can you take that somewhere else? Hold on, I need more coffee. I'm gonna move him. I'll be right back. Give me 45 seconds. What did she say? Yeah, exactly. That sound. Okay, come on. Let's take this thing off. Let's go in here. Come on. Come on. Okay. She's back. Let's see about turning this light off. Hi. Okay, we're back. All right, coffee break, BRB. All right, what happened? Okay, it means you're at the right place at the right time. Yeah, I've always heard that too. I've always liked that about deja vu. Man, I turned off that light, and it's just like, now I need it again. Okay. It's a channel called Guard the Leaf, where the guy's cat meows a lot when he speaks, and it used to annoy him. Really? That's cute. Monty doesn't even annoy me with that bone. If I'm alone, I don't think about it. I've only noticed it, or I've only become more aware of it because when we have guests, he'll get on that bone a lot, like on a bone. I think it's because he gets like so excited and he knows he can't bug them, so he like gets his energy out on the bone, which is amazing. But then he starts making that wretched sound, and it's always like right next to us, and it's whoever is over is always like, "Oh my God, is your dog okay?" So I'm aware that other people are aware of it, less than I'm aware of it myself, if that at all makes sense. If you guys weren't here, I don't think it would bug me. Okay. Let's keep on going. I do think this might turn out pretty cool. It's taking so much longer than I expected. Oh, I have not checked out part 2 of Whitley Strieber's Gate program yet. Did you watch it, Andy? Was it good? And has anybody else watched the Gate program videos on YouTube by Wicked Mysterious and I think Cryptid Candy? I both interesting names for channels and makes them sound more like they do like not the stuff that they do, but their coverage on the Gate programs, not saying that it's like fail proof, but it was well done and I really enjoyed the delivery, if that makes sense. I started watching Pavel again, something, and got annoyed and turned him off. I was kind of surprised. No, not that he's doing anything wrong, but I just haven't like cared about what he's been covering. I just haven't thought it was important. But I keep doing that dual camera thing. I don't think anybody watches it in the horizontal view, and for some reason I'm really surprised that it doesn't seem to show me. But I thought that YouTube would be more excited that I'm using the feature, and it has, if anything, hurt me and not helped. It's very weird. Oh, you're horizontal today, HB. Nice. And it doesn't matter to me. I just can't, like, because I have had such differing results from going horizontal versus vertical, and you guys mostly seem to be on the vertical feed, and I can't figure out how the chat is affected on each one. I would have thought that it was beneficial, but I don't know. Okay, good. I'll check. I'm gonna check it out. I keep thinking about it. I just haven't gotten back to it yet. I really have been. I don't know what it is about this this most recent deep dive that I'm doing is taking me so long. I don't know what it is. It's such a short video too. It's like 25 minutes. And like even the editing's taking me a long time. At one point I was like, I feel like I'm perfecting this or being a perfectionist and like going back and just adding way more B-roll and more concerned with the cuts. And it's like on one hand, yes, I want a quality improvement, but on the other hand, like I don't know why I'm taking so long with this video. The pink drink. Okay, so I remember the pink drink. I remember a pink chalky drink. I even remember the color because it looked like Pepto-Bismol. But maybe a little lighter than Pepto-Bismol. Sorry, anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about. With the GATE program in schools in the U.S., the Gifted and Talented program, everyone's talking about it because people are starting to remember things or not. It's a whole thing. But part of the things that people are remembering, in addition to these hearing tests that involve the Gateway tapes by the Monroe Institute, is this pink drink that we drank. And again, I wasn't in the program, but I know I did these things, which would lend me to think that it wasn't part of the program. Maybe it was part of school. It really was whatever it was. But it seems kind of odd retrospectively, I think, to have these kind of medical things done in schools. I don't think they do that stuff now. Right? Like, they're telling us it was for fluoride, which that already has such a controversial... People are very torn up about if fluoride is good or bad. And other people are saying it had something to do with, like, dyeing our teeth pink so we'd go home and brush them, and the next day we could show how well we brushed them. But, like, why would we do that in school? And I don't remember that part of it. I just remember drinking this stuff. I don't remember my teeth being pink or anything. Yeah, HB, I kind of wondered if it was because I disagreed a little bit, and so I'm like, I don't know if I'm like subconsciously hesitant, or I don't know what it is. I don't know if maybe it's because this was the first episode that while I liked it on the surface, when I got into it, I was like, there's not a whole lot here. And so, like, maybe that's what it was. I don't know. So that's the other part too. Like Andy just said, a lot of people in the GATE program say that they don't remember things in their childhood, especially after this drink. And you guys know I remember nothing from my childhood. Like I remember next to nothing. Literally next to nothing. And I did not have an easy childhood, admittedly, and so I've always kind of chalked it up to that because it's also a trauma response. A lot of people that don't remember their childhood, it's because they dissociated, which I think is probably what happened to me. So I've never related my lack of memory to this pink drink or anything like that in school. I always just, because I knew I had kind of a rough childhood, that it was because of that. And I've asked my therapist, I've asked all of my therapists throughout the years countless times, like, should I be concerned with the fact that I don't remember anything? Like, I know what happened, but I don't remember anything. Hi, buddy. Hi, bud. Do you need more food? Go ask Dad. I'm working. Go ask Dad. Go on. Dad'll get you more food. What part don't I agree with? The overarching theme of episode 3 of season 2 is creativity and ideas. And the whole point of that video, or the whole point of that podcast, was them asking, where do ideas come from and are they alive? And in the podcast, Kai, Elizabeth Gilbert, Liz Feldman, even to an extent Rick Rubin, all lean towards the side of ideas being outside of us and almost alive, in that they can choose who they want to bring them into fruition, or they can jump from one creator to another, like in the case of Elizabeth Gilbert's book idea. When she realized she wasn't going to write it, she thinks her idea jumped from her to the author Ann Patchett. And that story is very compelling because they both wrote very similar stories without being aware of each other, blah, 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 blah. The thing that in my research and in my deep dive, I did not find that I came to the conclusion that ideas were separate from us, that they were choosing us, that they were moving in that way. Partially because in the mainstream point of view, which I go into at the very beginning of my video because I don't think it was really covered in the podcast, is that mainstream science says that ideas are generated as like a byproduct of biology, our neurons firing in our brains, met with some sort of external inspiration or influence, right? So like I might see a flower, and seeing that flower might give me an idea suddenly for a painting, right? But without that flower, that idea didn't just show up. There's always something, right? And even when you think it isn't, or there isn't, like every time, at least in my own experience, when I think back to ideas, there's always some sort of catalyst. Something has to happen that I go, oh, and then the idea clicks. And in the podcast, they made it sound very much like that's not the case, that it was not an outside influence of inspiration, and that they didn't really address the biology of it at all. It was just like these ideas are like, okay, it's time for us to be born. Let's go jump in a bunch of brains and see who's going to make us. And I just felt like it ignored a lot of the science, because there is so much about ideas and creativity that is biologically measurable. And I just felt like that was ignored. We know what parts of the brains are activated during ideas. We can't force an idea, but we know that without things like memory or language processing, things that are done in our temporal lobes, we would not be able to have an experience that feels novel and inspired like an idea. And I just felt like the podcast really romanticized the notion of ideas without giving any credence to the other opinions out there regarding ideas. Does that answer the question? Rob, I am so afraid of that happening. Like, I don't want to. I know exactly what you mean when you say you remember but you don't remember. I know exactly what you mean. You found that interesting? Which part did you find interesting? Oh, also HB, the other part that I didn't disagreed with was the whole part about simultaneous invention, like the light bulb being invented by two people at the same time, the theory of natural selection, and the telephone all being discovered or created at the same time. In the podcast, it's very romanticized, like this idea came to both Thomas Edison and Joseph Swan simultaneously, like magic, and they both created something within hours of each other without knowing. That is not at all how it happened. Like, not at all how it happened. Like, in the case of the telephone, I'll say this even in my deep dive. In the case of the telephone, for instance, that was Thomas Edison, and that wasn't Swan, and that wasn't Edison. That was Campbell. It was Alexander Graham Bell and Alicia Gray. They, Western Union, the telegraph company at that time, actually had a contest going with $1 million award prize for anyone who could solve the issue that they needed to get solved in order to send multiple transmissions through a single line. I think it's called multiplex something. So, like, there was a competition saying, we have this problem, who can fix it? And these two inventors both came up with this same idea, but, like, because of, I'm getting my telephone and light bulbs mixed up, but my point is that there was a whole catalyst of this that was ignored. With the light bulb, the filament light bulb wasn't the first light bulb. There were other ones before it, and Thomas Edison was known to regularly tinker with other people's inventions to improve upon them and invent something new. And it just is treated in the podcast as just such a novel and rare and magical thing. Not that it's not, but it's not in the way that it was presented. When we have a tough childhood, we try to remember the good part of it, but we act the bad part of it. That's interesting. I don't even remember the good part of it. I don't remember any of it. I don't remember the good. What I remember is not good, but I don't remember much at the same time. Your parents hid their bad parenting. I mean, I think that's the goal of them. Some of your engineering ideas have come to you like gestalt and visions. So this is why Dr. Diane left, because of embellishments. One of the reasons she left. Is that, do you think that's one of the reasons, or do you know? Did she tell you that? Like, did she ever tell you exactly what happened? I know what she said in that email you shared, but just that I don't remember the word she used, and I don't want to repeat it anyways, because it wasn't for public, but I am wondering if you had any further conversation with her. But yeah, so that is the long short of what I disagreed with when it came to that video. And maybe that's part of the hesitation. So we shall see. It's hopefully out today. I literally can't do this anymore. If it's not today, it has to be tomorrow, because I can't do it on Wednesday, and I don't want to wait any longer. True, Sundown. Edison constantly tinkered his ideas. Some say from others completely, some say, yeah, he made them from his own. Yeah. And it's just like, the podcast presents the information as coincidence or coincidence adjacent when it just wasn't the case. The theory of natural selection is the closest example to that being true that the podcast gives. That was Darwin and Alfred Wallace, I believe. And they did come up with nearly identical theories of natural selection. However, the thing that nobody ever says, and wasn't said in the podcast, is that both of Wallace and Darwin came to develop their theories of natural selection independently after reading the same piece of literature, however. So they both read the same book, and it led them both to the same question, which is why what's the deal with overpopulation. And then, uh-oh, I got a spinny wheel of death. Am I frozen? Oh no. Hold on. Anyway, yeah. What was I saying about that? I don't remember. I'm just babbling. Oh, natural selection, that's it. So they did come up with these different ideas, but they were inspired by the same book. And I think that that is important because, again, that talks about that external spark, that you will, that like can help catalyze an idea or creativity that mainstream science says is there, that, again, just was not even mentioned in the podcast. Team Tesla. Oh, yeah. And when we say Tesla, we mean Nikola. He's the best. Yeah, they read the same book. They read, it wasn't Tesla's book. It was this guy, Thomas something. The book was on, basically on the person that wrote the book was concerned about overpopulation in humanity. And it caused both Darwin and Wallace to say, why don't we see overpopulation in animals and plants as much as we do? I mean, we do see it in some senses, but in general. And that is what led them both to get to the theory of natural selection. They both said, why isn't this happening? Started looking at the animals and then realized it's battle of the came up with their theories. And then Wallace, and they also knew each other because Wallace was providing birds for Darwin to study, and Wallace knew what Darwin was studying. So at some point when Wallace was getting more evolved, he asked Darwin if he could send him his theory to look at and to help him get published on his side of the pond. And Darwin read it and was astonished that like the theory he had been working on for like 20 or 30 years at that point was submitted. So that is where the coincidence, not like it came out of the blue, you know? Ooh, I don't think I've seen that. Why is my internet being like this? I'm sorry. Is it skipping on your guys' end or is it just on mine? Anyway, I have, this is a Tesla book back here behind me. It gave me pause. Skipping terribly for you guys because it's skipping really bad on my end. No. I don't know why it's skipping. Let's see. No. All right, let's see if this corrects itself soon. Any luck? Are we back? Once things seem to be smooth again, I can transition to the I Ching so that we don't lose that opportunity. Because I don't know why my internet's being like this. Yeah, I know, the ads work fine for me too. It's saying I have a poor connection and I don't know why. I have no idea why. You guys, I'm so sad. Are we back? Are we back? Let me know when everybody feels like we've gotten a little smooth. Okay, I think I'm back. I just hit excellent status on my my Wi-Fi thing. Let's hope that this comes back. Let me know if you guys are feeling good in there. All right, I think we're back. That was annoying and weird. Auto-corrected, yeah, I don't know what that was. All right, so what time are we at? Just about an hour? All right, we'll do the I Ching here soon then, since I'm back and seem okay. And get through this. I did not get as far on this project as I thought I would. I might have to do a little work on this off camera just so we can keep moving through it and I can get onto the blankets. Good news about the blankets is that they're all machine washable. So even when it's warm out, I can make the blankets outside and I'm not really worried about them like touching the deck or anything because I'll wash them all again. I wash them before I knit and then I wash the yarn and then I wash the blanket after it's done. So I can kind of move around with it. So if we get lucky and it gets warm before I'm finished with those. Yeah, good check. Yeah, Pierce, you still there? Ouch. Ew, wait, what? Ouch, what? What happened? Did I do something weird? Getting lighter and lighter, kind of, in this green area. It's not really translating on the camera. The greens look closer to the same, but they're really not. Yeah, how is Lucy? All right. I Ching question. I Ching. I think it's I Ching. Could be something like, you know, what do I need to know for today, like I did last time? But it could be like, what do we as a collective need to know? It could be, like Andy said, no question. Just, we're going to just toss and see. I don't know. I think I'm starting to remember from memory, though, all of the rules. Like, what's a solid line versus a broken line, which lines are changing, etc. I actually have some yen. Wait, is this yen? No. These are pesos. Are they pesos? Yeah, pesos. Never mind. Got some pesos for use. I probably do have some yen also if we want to, but I have to go find it. Let's try no question. All right. We will go no question here in just a few minutes. Do a couple more light green ones and then we can move on. I'm enjoying this piece, like it's fun to make, but I also don't think I'll do another one like this. And see what unfolds. Yeah, that's what we'll do. So Andy, on your changes website, your book of changes, I noticed that once you get your number, underneath it, you'll have things that are like, if you threw a 6 or a 9 in these lines, then like there's more information. When I was doing side research on this and like learning how to do it, I saw something that said that you do a second hexagram only if you have 2 or more changing lines. So I have been doing it that way. So I'll do my hexagram. If I have only 1 changing line, I don't do anything. If I have 2 changing lines, then I make the second hexagram. Is that correct to your understanding? That is, I like read a whole bunch of stuff before I had started doing it more often, and I feel like that's what I had read somewhere, or like maybe even multiple places. So that's how I've been doing it. If a Freaky Friday situation happens to me, Andy, HB, and Sundown all switch around, that would be hilarious. That would be amazing. I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to switch spots with Andy. Because to go to Europe. Although I'd like to see HB's butterflies. I don't know what your situation is, Rob. What is happening? Did you guys just get spinny wheel again? Wait, that's so cute. I love that big green one. I don't do that, but chapter 8 says do it again. Oh, okay. You want to switch with HB? Okay. Did you guys just get spinning wheel of death again? Because I just did. And if so, that was definitely the last call. Why is this happening? All right. If you guys are still with me, I'm gonna get these down, and then we're gonna switch to the I Ching right now. Let me just get these. Why is it happening? I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why. Hopefully it fixes itself here in a second. You're okay, Pierce. Okay, Andy, I'll download the PDF. No, you're okay, Pierce. I'm having buffering issues, so hopefully this is coming through. We are about to consult the I Ching, or I Ching, without a question, just to see where it lands. Yeah, I thought I'm freezing. Damn it. I'm sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on. It says I'm back right now. I'm just going to get this little bit of clay in my hands out, and then we're going to switch, because I don't trust this. I don't know what's happening. Are you guys everybody back right now? Oh yeah, that's what HB asked how Lucy is. Yeah, are we done freezing? Is everyone back? Am I okay? I'm almost done with this clay, and then we're moving on. Okay, one more piece in my hand. Get rid of these lines, and then we'll get it on and I'll move it. Very short stops. That's annoying. I'm so sorry. I hope that it is done. So make sure I don't switch to something copywritten. Okay. Last piece down. This is our progress for today. Let's switch gears. I really do like it though. I think it's coming along. I'm losing stuff. Okay. I need paper. Still learning, isn't that cute? My old neighbor, who is from Germany and now lives back in Germany, had a printing company, and she made these notebooks that said still learning, and then there's another one that I can't remember what it says. Don't mind my scribbles. All right, kids, we are going to consult the oracle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 times. No question. Thanks, Rob. Okay, so we have 2 heads and a tail. Three tails. Isn't that cool, Rob? Okay, 1 head, 2 tails. One head, 2 tails. All right, 2 heads, 1 tail. All right, Andy, if I'm correct, I believe heads are 3 and tails are 2, right? All right, we got 2 heads, 1 tail. All right, so heads are 3 and tails are 2. So it's 6, 8. What did I say? Tails are 2. 6, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 6, 7, 8, 8. Okay, and then we go bottom to top. And even numbers are broken and odd numbers are whole, I think. Andy, jump in if I'm wrong, okay? So even numbers are broken and we start from the bottom up. So we've got broken, broken, whole, whole, broken, broken. And then changing numbers are 6 and 9. And we only have 1 6. If you have more than 1 changing number, then you do the second hexagram. But because we only have 1 changing number, the 6, we are not going to do a second hexagram. So now, I'm saying all of this out loud so that Andy can jump in or anybody can jump in and correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm going to open up Andy's website, bookofchanges.org. Why is it giving me a warning? I want to go to your page. One moment. I have it down here somewhere. Here it is. There we go. Okay. So, presuming I am right, we are looking at 2 broken and a solid, which the top half is thunder. And then a solid and 2 broken on the bottom half, which is mountain. So thunder mountain is number 62. Okay. And based on Andy's website, thunder mountain, thunder shock mountain, keeping still. Excessive smallness, success, perseverance is favorable. Small things may be done. Big things should not be done. A flying bird does not sing. It is not right when up high, but it is right when down below. Important people will bring good fortune. Important people will bring good fortune. Symbol tradition. Thunder above the mountain, excessive nearness. A wise man uses humbleness to be polite, quietness to show sorrow, and is thrifty when spending. This chapter is about a time of transition and change where it will be important to concentrate on the small things. You should avoid doing anything that is dangerous or conspicuous and be prepared for shortages and lack of money. Great. Thunder on the mountain passes by quite quickly but can be a bit too close for comfort if you do not keep your head down. Okay, and then in terms of... You've got a 6 in the second row, according to Andy's, which has that second line, Andy. Passing grandfather, meeting his grandmother, not reaching his later, meeting his servant, no blame. I don't really understand what you mean by the A and B options here. A servant must not be excessive. Here you do not see the person who you wish to see and you have to deal with someone else. This is a more humble approach and it actually suits the situation better. So. Oh, hey Trey. Welcome. Okay, so. Lucy, all right. I'm going to stick for a few weeks. Oh, wow. I hope that, yeah, everything's good with her. Okay, so, Andy, did I do that right? We got 62. I've been consulting Andy's, and then I also go and Google the number and just see what some other things say. But I think that's really interesting. Here, we'll Google real quick and see what else comes up. 62. But then I'm going to jump, actually. I think I'm going to go quickly. Okay. Here's one. Ambitious undertakings are not in order, but attention to small matters brings decent progress. Such is the case for a person whose resources are meager, but who, through modesty and perseverance, eventually rises to accomplish great things. Okay, it's great. An early key to success is to avoid pretentious ambitions and grandiose goals. The power of the small is served by slow and steady advancement, and succeeds through honest acceptance of its own limitations without reservation. I'll take that. Maybe that has to do with the channel. Who knows? Wait, what are you guys talking about? Wait, Green Day is doing the Super Bowl national anthem? That's funny. That's amazing. You guys, it's a little early, but I think I'm going to go. I think this has been a lot of fun today. But I got started on time, and Reed took a break to do... Oh, okay, A and B are different interpretations. But Reed took a break to do the I Ching, and I want to do it again. But I think I'm going to get a jump on moving to get this video out. I'm feeling really excited. Get my next video out, and then we'll move along. So, oh, thanks, Andy. I hope you guys have a great week. I hope that this live brought you, a modicum of joy or relaxation or peace or, I don't know, curiosity. But I'm just really glad you guys are still hanging out with me. I am excited to see where this goes. But I'll see you guys soon. I hope you have a wonderful Monday, okay? All right. Bye, y'all.